everybody, Chad here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to handle negative emotions when negative situations happen to us. Maybe you had a bad incident, maybe something didn't go right, maybe you got an argument with people, argument with strangers or friends. But also, how does that really relate to law of attraction? How does it relate to manifesting? And more importantly, just to be overall happy. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I have a story for you. So this is a personal story that kind of happened to me yesterday. So it's kind of fresh in my mind. You're probably going to see me telling this story and grow frustrated, because that's what led me to do this video, because I felt like I was, even though it happened yesterday, I felt today, I was kind of still festering on it. And then I kind of stopped myself because I caught myself, that's all I was thinking about, kind of replaying it in my mind because I was frustrated, of course. And when I caught myself, I noticed that, well, my dominant thoughts are me being bitter and pissed off about what happened yesterday. And I'm not focused on basically, what does Chad want? What does Chad want to do? Okay, focus on your wants and desires. Focus on what you love and you enjoy. I'm here with family, spending time with family. And on the inside, I'm letting the situation that happened to me yesterday kind of grow and fester in me, where I start eventually, if you don't stop it, tomorrow when you go to work, you're going to be talking about it to your coworkers. Your coworkers are going to be like, what did you do over the weekend? And your brain's going to go right into it. You know what I mean? We kind of hang on to it. And what's the implications when we do that? Okay, that's what we're going to discuss today. And I got my smoothie. I got some crazy hair going on. My hair is kind of flat. When I kind of look at it in the camera, I don't know if it looks that bad, but it looks like I have a wig on or something like that. But anyway, I made a smoothie, so I'm going to be drinking it throughout the conversation. But let me tell you my story really quick. Okay, now yesterday, I posted on YouTube yesterday on the community board, like a picture. I went to an MMA fight, and that was my nephew's MMA fight. My nephew's 18, so he's been doing MMA a couple times. I believe this is his second fight, but usually in high school, he's really been into football, wrestling, and lately, over the last few years, he's been getting into boxing a little bit and MMA. So I went to his MMA fight, and at his MMA fight, okay, the MMA fight went really good, by the way, but at the MMA if I could speak, at the MMA fight, probably the middle way through the night, I saw, his name's Carson, by the way, I saw Carson up by the bar, trying to pay for drinks. I didn't see the drinks there, but trying to pay. So since he was over there, I kind of walked over to kind of see what he was doing. And I thought, well, if he's trying to pay for something, I'll go ahead and pay for it. But when I walked up to him, it's kind of hard to explain. The bar went this way, a short distance, and it went long ways around this, or almost like a standard bar, kind of almost like a half square. So he's kind of standing kind of in between a couple guys. So when I went in there was a space open, so I kind of went in and leaned in, and there's a guy kind of standing beside me here. There wasn't a guy beside me here yet. He was kind of standing up from me a little bit, but Carson's over here. He's kind of standing on the other side. So I kind of lean in and I say, "Hey, what are you doing?" So he basically tells me that, I gotta pay this bill. The bill's $30. Can you? My card got declined. He has like a Venmo card, so the card got declined. And can you forward me like $30? Can you send me $30? So I'm thinking, $30? $30 for what? You didn't buy like $30 worth of soda. So lo and behold, they sold him alcohol. Okay, they sold him some shots. So I think he took a couple shots and gave a couple shots to friends. So technically, he's 18, so they're doing, they sold him being underage. That wasn't really a concern of mine. My concern was, okay, you owe $30. So I was kind of standing there, kind of having all the time I'm standing there having this conversation. Okay, I'm waiting for the bartender to come back over so I can just pay the bill. Okay, say how much he owed and pay the bill for him. So this is all going on at the same time. I'm having this conversation with Carson, trying to figure out in the beginning what's going on, why he owes his $30, waiting for the bartender to come over. Okay, this guy standing beside me is usually yapping on my ear for me to move, get out of the way, get out of the way, old man. Then his friend comes up. He's in his ear saying, oh, get out of the way, you just squeezed in here. So I didn't cut in front of anybody, okay? They were just there kind of watching the fight, but they were kind of hogging the bar. So they weren't there ordering drinks or anything. So I'm listening to this in my both ears. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Carson. So finally I turned and I said, hey, look, I'm trying to figure out this bill, what's going on. So once I figure out the bill, what's going on, and pay for it, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back to my table. So they didn't want to hear that. He just kept on talking, basically trying to agonize the situation. Basically the standard thing where people call you names. They want to antagonize you for you to actually do something, to lose your cool or touch them. Then that way they can play victim. Okay, that's basically the situation going on. So when I turn to him and tell him that, he's still in my ear. You old man, get out of the way. Then the other guy kind of like getting closer to me. He's trying to lean against the bar. So then he's saying, oh, get out of the way. You got a big nose. Get out of the way. So he's trying to antagonize me. So then I turn and then finally I turn and I say, I forget kind of what I said. I said, you got to fucking chill out. Okay. That's probably what I exactly said to him. Okay. Sorry for the language, but that's exactly what I said. I go, I'm trying to help my nephew here. So you got to chill out. But they still keep on going. Okay. On the time, they're still kind of going. Because I'm looking at them. When I look around, Carson's gone. So he walks away. So I'm like, okay, Carson's gone. I stay there for another like 30 seconds, think, okay, is he going to come back? So then I kind of step out where I'm at and I kind of walk around, but I thought the bartender would see me. At the same time, I see my brother-in-law kind of across. He was walking down there. He holds up a drink like this. He bought me a drink. He had him a drink and me a drink. So he holds it up. And so I see it, so I thought, okay, I'll walk around, get my drink, of course, so I can tell Brian. But Brian's my brother-in-law, so he's Carson's dad. So to tell Brian what's going on. So in the meantime, me doing this, I grab the bouncers walking around. So I grab the bouncer and say, hey, look, these two guys are just causing trouble. They're trying to antagonize the situation and stuff like that. That's just not cool. But anyway, that bouncer knew the two guys, apparently, or had to. So he flips it on me. Well, you got to go over there. You stay over there. So he tends to kind of like push me and kind of shove me that direction. So then I turned to him and I said, hey, look, no, you don't touch people. Okay, we can have a conversation, but you don't touch people. And he's like, well, I'll kick you out of here. I'll drag you out of here. And I was, I don't care, but you don't touch people. Okay, you keep your hands to yourself. I keep my hands to myself. Okay, but you don't touch people. So I had to walk that direction anyway. So I turn and walk away because I had to go to Brian to tell Brian what's going on. So then I grab Brian. I tell him basically what's going on. So Brian's like, well, what's the two guys you're talking to? So I pointed to him. So Brian and I walk over. Brian's really cool. So he's just trying to explain. Sorry about that. Move the camera. So he's just trying to explain to the two guys, like why I was up there, to kind of mesh things over, make things more chill. But they're doing the same thing to him. They're just antagonizing him because they don't really care. That's what they were doing to me. So they don't really care why you're there trying to pay a bill or whatever. So then at the same time, Brian's talking to them, that bouncer sees me. So he comes up to me screaming at me. So he comes up to me like screaming, I told you to stay over there. And I said, and then Brian turns to him and starts talking. So I was like, hey, we're trying to handle this situation because he's my son. So my son's Carson. He was up here trying to pay a bill. So we're trying to figure out what's going on, if he owes a bill or whatnot. So he wasn't even listening to Brian. So Brian at the same time telling him, well, we know Gary, the owner of the event. So then he's more focused on me. I said, I told you to go over there. I'm going to grab you right now and drag you out of here. So that I'm looking at him saying, no, you're not going to touch me. You got to understand one thing. You're not going to touch me. Either legal speaking and just self-defense speaking. You're not going to touch me. Okay. So we're kind of having this conversation back and forth. It lasted maybe like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. So he didn't touch me or anything. Nothing like that happened. So Brian and I walked off and Brian saw Gary. So we're trying to talk to Gary. about, basically the whole incident kind of, it's kind of like a ripple effect. It got way blown out of proportion. So we talked to Gary, what's going on. And that's pretty much kind of the situation in kind of in a whole nutshell. Okay. Then we talked to Gary. Gary said, well, it's best for Carson to just leave because he don't want to lose his liquor license and blah, 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 because they served somebody underage. So, which is okay. Then we have this another woman come up while Brian is taking basically Carson, making sure Carson goes out, sits in the car while we gather up our stuff. This other woman comes up and starts saying, well, why is Carson so stupid? Why would he do this? And blah, blah, blah. Which you have to understand a backstory too. My nephew has autism. Okay. He has Asperger's. Okay. It's kind of like a high functioning autism. So lots of times, like even though you're 18, like with autism, Asperger's, you kind of have a mentality of like a 13-year-old. So you're kind of like a 13-year-old trapped in an 18-year-old body. A little bit. Kind of a little bit. So if you have like autistic family members or friends or whatever, or maybe you have autism, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So that's kind of a backstory that I'll talk about a lot. So, she comes up and she's saying this stuff. That just, that kind of triggered my sister. That triggered me. So then I piped up and I said, hey, look, you don't need to talk like that. All we're trying to do, I'm over there trying to handle the situation. The situation is getting all blown out of proportion. I go, the real issue here, if you really want to make it an issue, is your place is serving alcohol to underage people. That's the real issue. I go, but, coming over here and calling people stupid or whatnot, no, you need to go someplace else. You know what I mean? Just for the, the nature of the situation a little bit. Because if you have an autistic family member or a friend, you're going to take things kind of personal, what they say a little bit. Saying things like that. And they know he has autism. So for them to say stuff like that is just isn't, just isn't very sensitive to the situation. But anyway, we got the situation solved, paid the bill. We were waiting for our pizza. We ordered pizza. Then we went home. Okay. That was the situation. Okay. But when I woke up this morning, right when I woke up, that's what I'm thinking about. Besides thinking about like what I want to do, usually I wake up and kind of have like my morning little intention I do, kind of think about like a goal that I want to achieve, an intention I want to achieve. I try to do that every morning. And sometimes it only lasts like 30 seconds or a minute, not anything. But right when I woke up, that's what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? And I woke up early. I woke up like at 5 a.m. Okay. And from 5 a.m. to about noon, that's all I'm flipping thinking about. I'm festering on this. Okay. And I finally caught myself because I caught myself like, one, I'm festering. Okay. It happened yesterday. Yes, it happened recent, but it did happen in the past. And one of the things we have to understand, like when we talk about wealth, health, and prosperity, like, the YouTube channel, and wealth, health, and prosperity, it's really being, wealthy, happy in all areas of your life. Okay. It's not just one area, because this is how I believe, and this is what's taught to me, is that, who you are in one area of your life is who you are in every single area of your life. Okay. If you're bitter and bitterness grows in you, it doesn't stay in one area. It moves into every area of your life. If you're unhappy, you're not unhappy in one area of your life. You're unhappy in all areas of your life. You know what I mean? It moves. It kind of spreads. It's like if you're in a small little pond or a small, I don't want to say lake. A lake is pretty big, but if you're in a small little pond, or if you see a great big rain puddle outside and you take a stone and throw it right in the middle, that ripple spreads across the whole pond. It spreads across the whole puddle. Okay. And this is what happens in our life. Okay. In this example of kind of being frustrated, okay, being kind of frustrated and pissed off, basically the two emotions, I was feeling, being frustrated and pissed off. Then when I woke up, I'm still frustrated and pissed off when I talk about it or think about it. Then that frustration and pissed off kind of grows into where you kind of, if you don't stop it, it kind of grows into you being unhappy, you being bitter about the situation. And I even had a short moment, a short little thought that came across my mind that that, you know what, I'm tired of helping people. I'm tired, I'm just on like cancel my YouTube account. I'm tired of helping people. I'm tired of coaching people, tired of coaching younger generations because all they do is try to verbally abuse and be a verbal bully or a cyber bully. And then play victim, call you names until something happens, and then play victim and blame it on you. I'm so tired of that stuff. So, I had that. I mean, this is a thought. I'm not speaking. It's just a thought. It's like, dude, I'm just going to go up and cancel my YouTube account. I'm tired of coaching people. I'm tired of doing this stuff. And that's what I mean. Like when you get frustrated, okay, you're pissed off, you're angry, okay? And these are all real emotions, okay? It's not about not having these emotions. These are all real emotions. We can't stifle the emotions. We have to express the emotion to kind of get it out of us, okay? But once we get it out of us, once we vent, what we have to do is we have to learn how to forgive the situation, okay? We don't forgive the situation for them, okay? We don't forgive others for them, okay? We really forgive the situation, forgive others for us, okay? That's the true meaning of forgiveness. Is yes, we need to forgive others and forgive, they could have been drinking. It's all hyped up there. It's an MMA fight, whatnot. I need to forgive the guys I got in an argument with, forgive the bouncer, forgive all this situation. But more importantly, I need to forgive them because I forgive myself. Makes sense? And it's kind of hard to explain because unforgiveness, if you don't forgive other people or you don't forgive the situation, what happens is you're attached to it. Okay? That's why biblical teachings or spiritual teachings, when they teach on forgiveness, okay, that's why forgiveness has so much power, because if you don't forgive, if you harbor negative emotions, you harbor unforgiveness, okay, you harbor that bitterness, okay, you're attached to it, okay, you haven't let it go, okay. True forgiveness is you totally let it go, okay, you totally cut that cord because you're attached to it, okay, meaning this is what it means to be attached to it, is if I can't let it go, is my frustrations, my anger, and I woke up today, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and then my anger grows because I keep replaying it in my mind, or then I talk it to my sister, what happened last night, talk it to my mom, so that bitterness grows. Then if I go to work tomorrow, my coworkers will say, hey, how was your weekend? I'll talk about it again. So that frustration and anger kind of grows to unhappy. Okay, then it grows to bitterness. I'm bitter about the situation. Then when I think about going to another event like that, I'm always going to be bitter in a bitter state. Now I'm going to be angry about it. Then when I'm in that state, okay, I could be in that state for 1, 2, 3 days, a week. You know what I mean? Where it starts to spread to other areas of my life. Then when I run into people, I might already be bitter and pissed off. You know what I mean? Rather than being nice and friendly. And during that time, again, we're talking about forgiveness, but when you're trying to manifest during that time, you have to understand is that's the vibration you're in. You're in that vibration of anger and bitterness. So when you go throughout your day, you're just going to see things out of anger and bitterness and unhappiness. So the longer you stay in that emotion, you're going to start attracting at that level. Okay, all you're going to see is just negative things. Okay, all you're going to see is how life sucks. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important to truly forgive. And I love what Neville Goddard says about forgiveness. Okay, he says this in the Pruning Shears of Revision. And I'll try to remember to post the Pruning Shears of Revision here. I might forget. But in Pruning Shears of Revision, he talks a lot about forgiveness. And this is what he says. True forgiveness is forgetfulness. I'll say this one more time. True forgiveness is forgetfulness. Okay, when you truly forgive someone, you truly forget what they did. When you truly forgive a situation, you truly forget, okay, what they did. Okay, that's true forgiveness. And another thing he talks about in the Pruning Shears of Revision is actually pruning your day. Okay, when you had a day like mine, like last night anyway, the whole day was good except the last hour of last night, something like that. And, I didn't do it when I came home because, because I was drinking too much. By the time I got home at 8, I passed out. Just to be 100% honest with you, if you don't like it, it's me. You know what I mean? That's why I try to, post a lot of stuff. I want you to know me. I want you to know Chad. Okay. Chad's not perfect. Okay. But going back to pruning your day is being able to sit down, think about what occurred yesterday, and you replay it as your perfect day, how you wanted it to go, what you wanted to happen. That's basically the nutshell of pruning shears or revision. You're pruning your day. You're revising your day. You're revising your day into the perfect day that you wanted. Okay. Now that's another tactic that you can use and do to kind of get out of that negative mode. And that I just basically just thought about when I'm making this video. That's what I'll probably do after the video, is actually just sit down and do kind of a revising my day to kind of get me out of this negative spiral I'm in a little bit. That way I can kind of go back to focusing on what I want, focusing on what I want to do. It doesn't take me away from that. Makes sense? And when people are around me, you don't have that frustration. Makes sense? It's just it's just being overall happy. But to kind of wrap this up, it's not so much. We are going to have, when you talk about law of attraction, law of manifesting, law of assumption, we talk a lot about, understanding kind of the emotion you're having, understanding your emotional states, because you attract on the emotional state that you're in, and you attract on even an emotional state. But if you're constantly in a certain type of emotional state, you're going to attract whatever your dominant states are. You're going to attract that level. So if you're always walking around angry, frustrated, pissed off, you'll eventually attract at that level, because all you see is more negative. All you see is things that pisses you off, things that makes you angry, because that's kind of what you're focused on. So, but at the same time, emotions are real. It's not all negative to have emotions. Okay. Once you feel an emotion, let it out of you. Okay. Get it out of you. That's healthy. Okay. But what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about not having negative emotions. What I'm talking about is not festering on the negative emotion. Okay. Being able to let go. Okay. Being able to forgive, truly forgive, and let go of that negative situation. Because when you truly let go, you cut the cord. You're attached to it. You cut that cord. You break that attachment. And once you break that attachment, it's not affecting you. It's not affecting you in a negative way. Other than that, my friends, that's what I want to share with you. Hopefully you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.